walks onto stage to a session on Unleash the OOH Creative Freedom, Wow the World. For this session, our speaker helps businesses discover and explore their most creative, valuable, and innovative opportunities. He has been a leader in the creative and technology sectors for over 30 years and has the opportunity to work across a wide range of industries. Ladies and gentlemen, he joins us all the way from the UK. Please welcome innovation consultant Dino Burbidge. Huge round of applause. Welcome.
Perfect. Welcome. I'm one of those dangerous creative people that we've been talking about the last couple of days. So I'm going to talk about Unleash the Out of Home, Creative Freedom, Wow the World. It's going to be 20 minutes. I've got a lot to get into 20 minutes. So I'm going to crack on because the time has already started. So who am I? Great introduction, by the way. Thank you. Great suit. Amazing. I'm Dino. I'm a techie. I love tech. I'm a bit of a nerd, but I'm also creative. As you can probably tell, I trained as a creative. I've been a creative director in the industry as well as technologist. I've done marketing for over 30 years. Don't need to know about that. However, I help companies deliver the really tricky campaigns, the ones that you've seen, you think, how do they do that? That's usually my job. And I like weird shirts. I've lost that one somewhere in the world, but there you go. This was my brief. Make it inspiring, but also make it practical. Essentially, don't make it too weird was the brief. Really, I'm talking about creativity. So really, the question is what is creativity? And I put it into 4 things. The art of out-of-home creativity, the tech, the science, and the craft as well. So I'm going to talk through each one of those in relative quickness because we've only got 20 minutes. But I'm going to start with the art, the mysterious part. And this is the important bit. We are all artists in this room. We are all creatives. You've got to where you are because you've been creative with what you've done. Even the numbers people in the room, even the lawyers in the room, the media owners in the room, you are all artists in this art. That's why you're here today. Pablo Picasso, one of the greatest artists of all time, he has stuff. He has a canvas he works on. He has his tools. He has inspiration. He has a style that maybe he has to adhere to. There is a calendar on the wall. Maybe he has some restrictions. Maybe, I don't know what's in the envelope, by the way, I'm just making this up, but maybe he's got a brief, maybe he's got a bill, maybe he's got his mortgage to pay, but also he has curiosity. What a brilliant pose. I love that. You have the same things. This is why I'm saying you are the same. You have a canvas, you have your tools, you have your data, you have your location, you have inspiration. We've heard a lot of it over the last 2 days. Maybe you've seen the Cannes winners, whatever it might need to be. You have a style. Maybe it's your client who's giving you a style guide. You've got restrictions, probably budget. You've got obligations. You've probably got to show some return on investment at some point. And you have curiosity. Maybe you've seen something, you've gone, how do we do that? I want to do that next time. You have the same tools, but you've got more. You've got formats. You've got fonts. You've got images. You've got knowledge. You've got color. You've got data, brand, copy, motion. You've got networks to play with, you've got location, you've got tech, you've got time and timing as well, so you can play with that. You've got schedules and you've got physicality, and you have lots more in between each one of those. You've got more tools than any artist normally has. So how are you going to play with those? And then we move on to the science. How does the creativity work? To talk about that, let's go back to basics. An advert promotes a product, brand, or service to an audience to elicit awareness, interest, engagement, or sales. Essentially what it's saying is you've got to promote something to somebody so they do something. Pretty simple. So you can't measure the creative part though. That's just the mysterious part. In the bottom corner, you're wrong. You can. And I'm going to show you how you do that. So this is actually from Mark Ritson. If you don't know Mark Ritson, go onto LinkedIn and follow Mark Ritson. You won't be disappointed. This is what affects the effectiveness of a campaign. Brand, share, and size is the biggest thing. If you are Coca-Cola, you put Coca-Cola on a billboard, somebody will walk past it, they'll probably buy a Coke in the next couple of hours. Who knows? But if you don't have a brand, creative execution, i.e. how good the creative is the second most biggest factor of your effectiveness. And it's the same with profitability as well. This is within our control. You do not have control over the brand size, but you do have control over the creative quality. And that is the second biggest factor. You can be talking about laydown phasing, multimedia, brand performance, budgets across portfolios, creative quality. If you mess up the creative quality, it is going to destroy your profitability. And the words along the bottom basically show you the research that you can go and have a look at. Out of home is an amplifier. We've heard of it a couple of times in the last day. It's part of the creative mix. If you run an out of home campaign with your online video, they're almost at the end of the spectrum. You've got online video and then you've got out of home. If you run an out of home campaign alongside video online, it uplifts your video online by 45%, your TV campaign by 35%. The point is, you need to think how your creative goes across the different media. Out of home is not a silo. Do not design just for out of home and something else for TV. It needs to work together. That's what you take away from this. And this is fascinating. This is actually from a TV report. They've got no reason to make out of home look good. This is technical viewability. Can you actually see the media versus percentage of the media that you actually normally see? Out of home is 100% technically viewable. You can prove it's there. It is actually there. 82% actual viewing. Now, you look at TV, that was the report over there, all lower. This is the highest. So more than TV, more than TikTok, Facebook, this is a good thing. But it comes with a little bit of a sour pill. 2 seconds is the average that somebody looks at a billboard. We've heard lots of things about it's on rotation for X amount of time. If you have a video creative, 2.8 seconds is the average. If you have a static creative, 1.2 seconds. So on average, let's say 2 seconds. That's what you've got. Again, the point of this is you need to think how you do your creative. It needs to be bold because you've only got 2 seconds to make an impression, quite literally. In short, for the science, creativity is a critical factor to your effectiveness and ROI outside of brand. It is the first thing that you can control. The brand is the most important factor to that point. Out of home amplifies the value of your other media options as well. And also, you've got 2 seconds, so just bear that in mind. That will come up later in this presentation. Now let's talk about the tech. We've heard a lot about tech and emerging tech. It is your supercharging of your out of home. This is a great quote, Arthur Clarke. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. If you took a single LED light and you put a battery across it and you went back 100 years, they would think that was magic. If you show it to somebody today, they go, it's just an LED with a battery across it. I can see exactly what you're doing. If you can't see the technology, then the magic, the creativity is heightened. Quite literally, invisible technology heightens the creativity. It is your job to hide the technology so that the creativity can come to the front. And I've drawn the graph, just in case you didn't believe me. I've completely made this up, by the way. Visibility to invisibility, the most invisible technology, the higher the creativity, the magic. And by the way, that's where you need to be. Just in case you needed a graph, every presentation needs one. But the tools are really about invisibility. If you want to know who's looking at your billboard, well, maybe a camera and have a look at them. If you want live interaction with a digital screen, well, maybe connect via mobile phone, probably using WebSockets. Hello to every nerd in the room who knows what WebSockets are. If you want to make sure the right people are seeing it, maybe programmatic, maybe there's some technology report you need to have a look at. If you want to send them something to their phone, stick a QR code on it. And if you want to do just data, temperature, stock level, availability, then clearly you connect to an API. The top stuff is all what you want to do creatively. The bottom stuff is invisible. It's the enabler of the creative idea. Simple as that. It can sometimes be so technically not needed and invisible that you don't actually need it. So this is a really good example. This is what we used to call DIB technology, Dino in a bush technology. And I'll show you the example of that actually working where it came from. This billboard, we wanted people to gesture to the billboard. Thumbs up, send a hug, do a dance, whatever it was. And then when they put their thumbs up, they do this to the billboard, and it would react. If it was a dance, it would react slightly differently. And it was me sat on the steps about here with a mobile phone with buttons on it that said blow a kiss, kiss someone, thumbs up, do a dance, show some love, do the heart symbol. As soon as I saw somebody in front of the billboard doing something, I would press a button on my mobile phone. That billboard is just a HTML web page, and we connected to it. It looked like it was using cameras and body motion and Xbox Connect, used none of it at all. It was Dino in a bush technology. So sometimes you don't need to do technology to get the job done. Just bear that in mind. And if you're thinking, like, where can we even start? If you're doing a print campaign, maybe use UV inks. Maybe at night it comes alive in a different and interesting way. Ask your media owner, if you are media owners, but ask, can you serve HTML into your banners rather than just JPEGs or MP4s? If you can put a HTML page into that banner, all of a sudden you can use JavaScript interaction, dynamic stuff within the banner itself, connect to an API. Maybe you provide the API. In which case, which ones do you provide? Is it weather, temperature, is it location, whatever? Or just put a live camera on your billboard and watch how many people get in front of it and start moving around and interacting with it and taking photos. Put a live camera, put your logo at the bottom, put a little line at the bottom. You'll be surprised how many people engage with your adverts. It doesn't have to be difficult. And then we come on to the craft, or craft, if you're from the southern of England, doing it well. What are some of the rules? Very simple rules. I'm going to keep it really simple. As you saw at the beginning, brand is the most important thing that will affect your effectiveness. Put the brand in the middle, at the top. If there's one thing you take away from this advert, it's not the word delicious, it's not the word rich, it's Kit Kat. You want people to go, Kit Kat. Same with all of your advertisers. The brand is the most important thing. They have to take that away. Don't put it at the bottom, don't make it small. Put it in the middle, near the top. They need to take that away. Second most important thing is the message. Keep it simple. Keep it functional. New Sky Broadband, 25 times faster. We've got the title, we've got the logo, we've got everything in there. And this is really, really simple. Great ad. We've also got no more than 3 things. Your message, your product shot, your logo. 3 things. Try and keep it to 3 things or less if you can. More than 10 words, you're getting a bit sketchy after that. So try and keep it below 10 words. You've got 2 seconds to make an impression. If you have any brand assets, then you use them. If you have a logo, obviously, but if you have a mascot, if you have colors, you have fonts, whatever it might need to be. This is brilliant. This is Barbie. This is for the Barbie movie. It's pink with a single date on it in the right font for Barbie. That's a Barbie advert, one of the best adverts I've ever seen. It's brilliant, okay? But it's super simple, less than 2 items. You get that in less than 2 seconds. It's a great ad. And also, if you are out of home specific, you are on to a winner. This is roadside. This is telling you how to get to a McDonald's. It's doing all the right things. It's specifically for out of home. It's using the brand assets, less than 3 things in it, and it's keeping it really simple. So tick, 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 lots of things going on there. And use the psychology, the aha moment. There is a lot of research that says if you actually allow somebody to solve your puzzle, they will have more sort of love for your product as well. They will feel engaged with it. It's clearly Coca-Cola. You go, it's just, oh, hang on a minute, there's a thing. Oh, that's recyclable. Oh, that's clever. I figured it out. That's great. So the aha moment is actually powerful. So let people work them out as well. Now you're thinking at this point, have you got any examples? And I'm clearly going to say yes, because the last bit is going to be quite quick. We need to talk about anamorphic. Anamorphic, you've seen a load of these. It does not have to be a ginormous, big 3D curved billboard. You can do this on a flat screen. But where we're now moving into with innovation, we're talking about interactive anamorphic as well. So have a look at what's going on in the rest of the world to where we're leading with anamorphic. Really, really simple one. This is all about the physical message. The medium is the message. O2 are saying if you break your phone, they will replace it. So they broke the billboards. Even if they couldn't get one of the media owners to shift the billboard, it would have still looked brilliant with the broken glass effect. So absolutely brilliant. The medium is the message. This is one of the first out of home, the big sort of technical ones I worked on. It's for Women's Aid. It's about domestic violence. And with domestic violence, if you engage with domestic violence, you can change it. If you walk past it and you don't want to know about it, nothing will change. So that's what we did to the billboard as well. You looked at the billboard, the woman's bruises disappeared. If you walked past the billboard and didn't want to engage with a bruised woman, nothing would change, just like domestic violence. And we launched it on International Women's Day. We got the press involved. And you can see what happened. You got over 360 million impressions because we launched it on the right day with a powerful message that was super simple. And we hid the technology as well. Again, this is a really good one of solving the puzzle. The medium is the message. Specsavers in the UK, they've had this strapline for years. They've been very consistent with it. Should have gone to Specsavers. And their adverts are all about people who are getting things wrong because their eyesight isn't good enough. Clearly, whoever's put the billboard up has got it wrong. And then you go, oh, it's Specsavers. Clearly, they've got it wrong. Should have gone to Specsavers. It's very simple. It's got the logo. It's got the message. It's kept it. All of those rules are there. And then you saw this yesterday in the quiz, but I thought I'd explain a little bit behind it. This is very technical. It's invisible AI. So yes, this is pedigree, and it was called adoptable. Each one of these dogs is adoptable because they are currently in a dog pound somewhere, awaiting to be adopted. So what they allowed the people in the pound to do is take a very poor quality picture of a dog. They would then map it to an AI system, which would give them a posable, high-quality character that was exactly like the dog, but they've just made it tidier. They could then include them in the ads. They would do the media buy where that dog is most likely to get adopted. There's a QR code on each one of these. If you like the dog, you could adopt the dog directly through the billboard. And once that dog is proved to be adopted, it would drop off the media plan, so it was no longer being shown. So you didn't get any disappointed dog owners or potential dog owners. Really brilliant campaign, but it was super technical, but very invisible. And you've seen this one before. Hopefully you've seen it in previous years, but I just thought I'd explain it anyway. It's McDonald's. It's using their logo to show you all the directions that you might have gone past a McDonald's or how to go off essentially the freeway to get to a McDonald's. Absolutely brilliant, super simple, won loads of awards, and quite rightly too. And then we have one of the other ones I worked in. This was all about how can you do what is seemingly impossible. This is Churchill Insurance, motor insurance in the UK, and they will insure you against uninsured drivers. The whole point about uninsured drivers is they're invisible around you, but they're driving with no insurance. How do you put a billboard that counts how many are going past that billboard at any one time? You are not allowed to look at the stats live because you can't look at the government database because that's private information. But it turns out there is a data set that shows how many uninsured drivers have been prosecuted in each area against how many people are insured in the area. There is a simple ratio between insured and uninsured. If you then put a very simple car counter, we just had a little object tracker that we put into each one of these billboards, and then you do the ratio. Every 10 cars that goes by, you increment the number by 1, or whatever the ratio is. So people are saying, how are you doing this? You're using illegal data. If you think differently, you'll get to the solution. This is really, really simple. How do you work for Adidas and make billboards into a challenge, a physical challenge? 2 totem billboards, 6 sheet billboards. You walk up to one, you scan the QR code on your phone. It then gives you a time, and it says run to the other one across town. So you run to the other one across town, you scan the QR code again, it gives you a time, which goes onto the leaderboard. So it's creating basically a start and a finish of a physical activity using billboards. Very simple, but also using mobile to do the connection as well. This is super simple. This is using lenticular. So that sort of prints with the little kind of triangles on it that make you see different things as you tilt it. So this is for Midwich Cuckoos for Sky, and it's on a bus. And as the bus goes along, you see a slightly different version of the lenticular as it moves past your eyesight. And the whole point of Midwich Cuckoos are these creepy kids that you're not quite sure whether they exist or not, and they appear out the woods. It's exactly what's going on. It's doing the aha moment, like, did I see the kids? Did you see the kids? I'll take a picture of the kids. It's doing all of that. So lenticular, when I said you've got more tools than most people, this is one of the tools I didn't mention, and there are a lot more like it, so really good. This is iftar. So if you don't know, if you're not basically a practicing Muslim, iftar is the meal after the sun goes down if you are practicing the holy month of Ramadan. When the sun goes down is very personal to where you live. So this is a very simple campaign. Uber Eats would love to deliver you your first meal at iftar. So in this campaign, they just bought media at minute intervals across the UK. And that's what the billboard's doing. It's telling you exactly when you can eat. And by the way, please do that through Uber Eats. This is a very simple data buy as well. So this is OVO Energy, and they basically over-index on sustainable energy. So they linked their media buy to the national grid. When the electricity grid was generating more sustainable energy in the UK, that's when they ran these ads. So the medium is the message. And this is a brilliant craft thing. This is a modern classic. It's a static ad, but as the night comes out, Dracula comes out because the shadows appear as well. Absolutely brilliant. And then finally, we have these crazy cats over at Insane 51. They're known for these banners. They paint 2 different colors over the same banner. If you look at it through a red lens or a blue lens, you get a different picture. Now, if you just put a big transparent billboard or a lens in front and people could move in between them, they would see that. They don't need the glasses. But really creative use of a mural in that case. The point is, hopefully you're inspired. You are all creative. If you're a media owner, if you're an agency, hopefully you're thinking, actually, I saw something there I want to be inspired and go and do. And hopefully that's the job. Now, I do this for a living. I'm excited about everything. But if you want a little bit of Dino every Monday morning on YouTube, I do a video every Monday morning. Might not be this Monday because I might be in the air. But there's a video. It's all about innovation and free stuff. Go and have a look at that one. If you want to contact me, it's that one. But other than that, I think we're done, and I think we're on time. Is that good? Yay.
On time, ladies and gentlemen. I think we definitely need to kind of request for that session again and watch it in slow motion. But you were on time. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. Pleasure. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to give us the questions, we're going to welcome onto stage Mr. Sailesh Loni from Lakshya Media Group. Can you please join us? You're here. The questions.
Very good. This is the exciting bit. Go on. What have you got?
I'll have to use this. Hi, everybody. I know we are waiting between you and the lunch, so I'll be very quick. Dino, you have around 27 questions, but we should not, ask you all the 27, so we have selected 3 out of them.
Yep.
The first question is from the literature point of view. This question is asked by Fabian Coven from Idea Cafe. Picasso's mother said, if you make this kid a soldier, he will become a general. If this kid is made a priest, he will become a pope. Pablo believed his mother and became the best. What will it take brands to believe specialist OH creative agencies?
Can I just say, by the way, I'm deaf, mostly in one ear. Can I have a look at the question?
Yeah.
So which one? Third one. Picasso's mother said, if you make a kid a soldier, he will become a general. If this kid is made priest, he will become a pope. Pablo, this is great, by the way. Pablo believed his mother and became a best. What will it take brands to believe specialist out-of-home creators? Okay, so there is a triangle that I draw in my mind, which is you've got the client up here, you've got the creative agency, you've got the media agency, and then you've got the out-of-home owner down below. What is a push and a pull around that diamond is essentially quite interesting. And around the outside, you've got the customers, you've got the audience. What will it actually take is the media owners talking to the creative agencies so that when they pitch an idea, because their job is to pitch the ideas against the brief to the client. The media agency, generally speaking, activates whatever is needed for the creative concept. So you need to engage with the creative agencies so that when they come up with an idea, like the billboards I've just showed you, which are basically using the technology, the location of the billboards, you need to be talking to the media owners, so the creative owners need to be talking to the creatives so that they include your good stuff in their idea that they pitch upwards. So that's what the industry needs, is the communication between you guys and the creative agencies so that they're excited. The way in is either creative technologists like myself or creatives, because it's quite frankly at the moment, it's a really good way of winning an award to do an out-of-home campaign, especially for a charity. You do want a quick way of doing it, but that's what we need to do.
Great. I think the clients have understood that. The second question is a bit tech-based. So like you mentioned that you're a techie.
You're welcome.
So this question is by Yuvraj Agarwal from Lakshya Media Group. After anamorphic, AR and VR, mixed reality CGI, what according to you is the biggest new creative tech in OH waiting to take the world by storm?
Oh, well, that's a tricky one. So I'll talk about what the anti one is first. I think the anti one is we need to be careful of programmatic in as much as a creative doesn't go where online display went, which is it just gets a little bit dull because it's programmatic. So I think that will be the watch out. What's next after all of those cool things? That's going to be quite tricky. I think with AI, everybody who I advise doesn't really use AI in their public work. They use it for inspiration, but they don't necessarily use it externally. In a weird way, I think anti-technology will be the next trend. So I'm seeing a lot of brands saying that we don't believe in technology. There's even little stickers that they put on their creative, human-made, human craft. So I think where AI will become what everybody uses, technology will be what everybody uses, I think we'll then go back to the Pablo Picassos of the world and say people will value craft again, and they'll want to see the craft, like the Dracula billboards, in their billboards. So how does that work with AI? That's the question. How do you get human craft to be at the front? I think that'll be the next trend.
Great. So anti-technology is the way to
Technology is
future.
invisible. It should be.
There were many questions on this bit, so I picked up one question. But the future, everybody who asked this question could be anti-technology.
I mean, I could be
in terms of
telling you about
creative.
brain scans, by the way. If you want to have a whole MRI brain scan conversation, come and see me afterwards about literally pulling out images from your brain and putting them on billboards. But that's a whole different, I don't want to blow your minds.
Great. So before I ask you third question, I had a question of mine.
Sure.
In today's world, the audience, like we believe in Lakshya, that they are slithering through mediums. And when they are slithering through mediums, it is difficult to catch their attention.
Mhm.
And therefore, because it is difficult to catch their attention, attribution becomes very difficult. So OH has always faced attribution issues. And I think even in the previous session, attribution is what Mr. Aniruddha spoke about.
Yeah.
So how creative and working on innovative creative stuff, how it helps in building attribution so that, OH gets better place?
Very good question. And by the way, that's the winner, just to save some time. Attribution. So if you design your creative campaign to have attribution, there are lots of ways you can do it. But as a really good example, McDonald's, again, they're on fire. But in Japan a couple of years ago, just coming out of COVID, people were a bit bored with their food choices. So McDonald's ran a billboard which was just a QR code. Every rotation, it would just cycle through QR codes. And each QR code, if you did capture one, they were different in each location. If you captured one, it would go onto your phone and you would get a voucher. And the voucher would say free fries, free burger, whatever it was. And then you would then go, right, I'm going to go into my McDonald's and I'm going to go and get my free fries. Because you've now gone from a unique QR code onto somebody's phone, which, by the way, you've got all the data. You've got the header data on your phone. You've got the IP. You've got the location. You've got the device. You've got the time. You've got all of that on their phone. Then they walk into somewhere and go, I've got a token. They scan the token. They give you your fries. You've created an attribution that billboard at 3:02 in the afternoon generated 20 times more fries than normal. So if you want to put attribution into your creative idea, it's easy to do. And if your client wants to see attribution, then that is a very easy thing to put into your Venn diagram of your brief. Yes, it needs to be creative, but we also need to do attribution. The Adidas running one was a very good example as well. How do you attribute it? We used to do this on the tube all the time. You do an advert on the tube and it would say, here's the special code. If you type in the special code, you know it came from the tube. So there are ways of doing it.
So one last quick question from Vinod Kumar, Ad in Advertising.
Yep.
How can creativity address challenges like limited attention spans and clutter in outdoor advertising?
And the last bit?
How can creativity address challenges like limited attention spans and clutter in outdoor advertising?
Attention spans, well, I don't think it can address them. It just needs to work with them. You've got 2 seconds. You can't really mess about. So when you start seeing billboards now, look at them through the lens of 2 seconds. What are you taking away from it? And that's as simple as that. So my training is information design, which is you need to get the most amount of information to the right audience in the minimum amount of time because their life might depend on it. You need to see billboards like that, basically. So I don't think there's anything we can do with it. You just got to work with it. The Barbie billboard is a brilliant example. Every one I've shown you is a brilliant example. Some of the ones I've seen around are not great examples. And hopefully, if you see them through my eyes, you'll now see why I think they're not great examples. And hopefully, you'll see that and you'll demand more of your creative agencies. You'll demand more of your clients as well. And maybe you'll be able to become the expert advising them as well what works. Because as soon as you become the expert, the trusted advisor, they'll come to you more and they will trust you and involve you in it. And you can then work with the creative agencies to get better work done.
So great, thank you, Dino. So we'll have to pick up one best out of this. So one is literature, Picasso. The second one is the creativity challenge.
Right.
And the third one is the anamorphic, the future of innovation.
Okay, yeah, because the third one was yours, and I can't. Was that
mine?
Yeah.
Was the third
No,
one?
no. Okay, the one about it was the one I said that was the winner. The third one.
The Picasso one, right?
Just just the challenges. Attention spans. So the attribution was you, wasn't it?
The attribution was me, but I can't win the
Yeah, you
prize.
can't have that one. I like the Picasso one.
Picasso one?
Yeah, let's go first one, just so that I don't do
Fabian
the last
Coven.
one again. And most important, I'm really excited to hand over a massive check. It's one of my life goals.
Congratulations, Fabian Trevor. Let's have you on stage.
Brilliant, well done.
Congratulations. Please join us center stage. This amazing session with innovation consultant Dino Burbidge,
Well done. No, you're
also
gonna get clapped.
CEO
Double thumbs up.
of Dino
Nice.
Work.
Good. You're gonna get a close-up.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, join us in putting our hands together for Fabian. 10,000 rupees. And we've got a memento. Can we please have? Thank you so much, Dino. Thank